This is a pretty old game. I think I recorded this initially about a little over a month ago, and I'm just now getting around to actually doing the commentary for it. So this is my MagneEels deck versus Quarter Turn's, I believe, Mew Weaville deck. Quarter Turn does have a YouTube channel, and I don't remember how many games he actually posts, but he is an excellent player. I don't really know anything else about him that I can recall, but I know that pretty much every time I play him, he wins. Because this game is so old, I honestly do not remember how this game ends, so it'll kind of be a surprise for me as I'm kind of doing my commentary. So he mulliganed, I believe, twice. So 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I've got 9 cards on the field and in my hand, so that would be a double mulligan. He gets to go first, starts off with a Mew Prime to my Magnemite with a Dynamo on the bench. He attaches a Rainbow Energy, plays a Level Ball. And now that I take a look at my hand, I am not liking the look at my hand at all. No supporters, my only trainer is a catcher, and yeah, just nothing good. So he benches that Sneasel that he looked up or searched out with Level Ball, and he uses See Off to put a Jump Bluff into the discard pile. So I get a communication. I communicate in a Magnezone, and I'm thinking I'm probably just going to go for a Cleffa, just because my hand is so terrible, but I'd go for the Thundurus instead. Having that eel in hand is a pretty good a card to have, I guess. There's still a chance I can hop a rare candy and get a Magnezone up. Go ahead and play the switch to get back to the Thundurus without having to pay any energy retreat costs, and I'm able to get a turn 1 charge, which means I can get a turn 2 Disaster Volt off. That will give me a slight advantage, however, with no supporters to play, that I'm kind of at a disadvantage there as well. So he's going to Junk Arm some stuff for that Level Ball again. Ooh, he has to Junk Arm and a Loss Remover, so that's not a good sign for his deck. Again, he does get that Level Ball again, the only trainer he's played so far. And I'm guessing he's alright, he's going for the Mew Prime. Another Mew Prime. Thought he was going to go for the Weavile, but I honestly don't remember if Weavile's HP, yeah, that's sufficient. So he Jump Bluffs, or actually, I'm sorry, he uses the Plus Power and Junipers. Pretty much the only reason why he played the Plus Power was because he's going to be throwing it away anyways. He is able to get that Weavile up, which means he can look at my hand and discard 1 card from it. And he tosses away my Lightning, so I cannot get off the turn 2 Disaster Volt. He is going to use the Super Scoop Up, which he succeeds. He's going to pick that Weavile up again, play the Sneasel back down, so he can use Weavile again next turn. Further disruption. So this is pretty much his strategy. Hits me hard and disrupts, and I top the rare candy. So perfect opportunity, gonna get that Magnezone in play. Also gonna get that eel going. And now with only 1 card in hand, I'm gonna be able to magnetic draw for 5 cards. Definitely going to attach that Lightning Energy to my active to be able to knock out that Mew. I'll Dynamotor onto the Magnezone. And yeah, I'm about to say... Well, yeah, I'm about to say I need to be benching the Magnemite. I keep going towards it, but then deciding not to. And I'm not quite sure why I'm not playing the N either. I think what I'm doing is looking at my catcher and trying to decide if what's the worst threat, if I want to knock out the Mew, or if I want to knock out that Sneasel. So I'm going to bench that Magnemite. Looking at or considering that N again. And I'm just going to hold on to my hand and Disaster Volt for the knockout on the Mew. Not quite sure, I'm still not quite sure if that was the right play to make, if I should have just taken the Weavile. Because I know that he's got the Weavile in hand to use Claw Snag, and he can just toss out that catcher. He can also toss out that end, so I don't have any shuffle or be able to use a supporter. I've actually not used a supporter yet. So it looks like he's gonna Pokemon collect 4 Cleffa and 2 more Sneasel. So an insane amount of disruption. Evolve into the Weavile. And I'm going to be able to discard a card from my hand. I'm guessing he's going to go for that N just so I can dead draw. Ah, he chooses the Magneton. That's a move that I'm pretty sure would, even at the time, would have made me pretty happy. Because I can easily I can deal without a Magneton. He is going to use Jump Pluff's, whatever attack it is, to knock out my Thundurus. And I'm going to promote that Magnezone, because I can easily just take the return knockout. And go ahead and use Sage. And here I've kind of got some choices. Problem with Pokemon Collector is that I can't use it this turn since I've already used a supporter. However, I can use that Communication Magneton into to go for the Magnezone and use that rare candy in my hand to go for the second Magnezone. Since he uses relatively low HP Pokemon, I really don't have to be concerned about loss burning a lot of resources and, pretty much wasting all my energy. So I'm going to attach that DCE to the Magnezone, rare candy into the second Magnezone, magnetic draw for 4. And why do I have all of my ends? Checking my discard pile. And lots of energy in there. That's okay. I have the eel. So checking out his bench. 1 Weavile, 2 Sneasel, and another Mew with energy. Gonna Dynamotor 1 onto the Magnezone. And then I'm going to Lost Burn that DCE, or I should be Lost Burning that DCE in case he pops out with the Lost Remover. I'm double checking to make sure he does. I only have to Lost Burn 1. But I do go for the Lightning. But that 50 is all I need to knock him out. And I take my second prize. He hits the tails on the Super Scoop Up, which means he's not going to be able to just use another Weavile. He's going to Pokegear to hopefully get a supporter. He's going to play the plus power just for no other reason than he's going to be throwing it out with Juniper anyways, and gets a fresh hand. So he's going to catch her up, probably the eel to stall. Going to Junk Arm, a Pokegear, and an N for the Loss Remover. And see, this is why I should have used or thrown the DCE away with when I used Lost Burn, because I knew he had the Loss Remover already in the discard and could easily reuse it with Junk Arm. But that's okay. And he's going to knock out my eel, which that slows my deck down quite a bit. So I'm going to promote that Magnezone. The one with 1 energy on it. And so here my hand's looking pretty rough. No energy to attach. I can easily get knockouts. But I don't really have much of a follow-up. So right here, I'm just going to be forced to end and just hope I draw into something a little bit better than what I have. So I pull the energy, but I really don't pull into much else. So I'm going to play that Thundurus, I'm going to play the Lightning, attach that to Magnezone. And I'm probably going to use that Super Rod to get my Electric Line back in with 1 energy. But first I'm going to use my a Magnetic Draw, get my hand size back up. And I decided to go for a Dynamo and 2 more energy because I know he's going to be aiming for those Dynamos as soon as I bench them. It'd be a little more important to have those than the Eels. I Magnetic Draw for 1 more and just pull an N, so nothing really useful. And I have to Lost Burn 2 to knock out that Mew. However, the way I'm looking at it is, while Weavile can provide a lot of disruption, if I can continue to knock out the Mew Prime, that is his only attacker, or the only attacker I've seen so far. And I haven't had to put many Pokemon into the Lost Zone, so there's another Weavile evolving, so here comes a Claw Snag. He's probably going to discard that DCE just so I can't use it. If he gets rid of my DCE, you know, whether they're in the discard pile or the Lost Zone, they are not recoverable. There's nothing I can do about that. He decides to toss out my Eel. Interesting play. And then will hit me for 80 with Jumpluff. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Collector to get... wow, and I see that 2 of my Dynamos are prized. So I'll get that 1 Dynamo back out on the field. And I use the field option, just kind of look at the field for a bit. Going for the Mewtwo, just because why not? And that's all I'm going to get. The more I do bench, the harder he is hitting with Jumpluff. So I kind of want to be a little bit careful of my, how much I'm actually playing. I'm going to attach that DCE to the Mewtwo. Put the Clef on the bench. That does fill up my bench. But it gets 1 more card out of the hand, and unfortunately I draw nothing useful. I was hoping I drew a Junk Armor switch to be able to attack with Mewtwo and get the... yeah, that would have been a knockout. And unfortunately I don't. So that's really unfortunate, because that leaves my Mewtwo very vulnerable to his Mew. All he has to do is promote the Junk Arm or the Catcher, bring up my Mewtwo, and he can use Mew Prime, copy Jumpluff's attack, and use that weakness... the Psychic weakness to knock me out in 1 hit. And of course take 2 prizes. So whiffing on that Junk Arm or Catcher was a huge loss for me. And double checking my discard, it's actually surprising that I whiffed on them because I have not played any. So yep, there comes the Catcher. Catchering up the Mewtwo. And using N to increase his hand size, decrease mine a bit. It's going to Super Scoop Up, hit heads again to be able to use that Weavile. And to be able to knock something out of my hand, which is probably going to be that Eel. So yep, there goes the Eel. That is now 2 Eel, I think, in the discard pile. Or was it 3? Went a little bit too fast for me to actually be able to see. So I'm going to attach 1 for the turn, Magnetic Draw for 4. Probably going to play the Sage here, or, well, ending him down to 2 would have also been a good play. And this is absolutely ridiculous. This is when I hit all 4 of my Junk Arms. So, that's just... this is just a terrible, terrible game for me as far as luck goes. 2 Dynamos prized. I've taken 3 prizes and haven't hit either of them. And then I Sage with 4 Junk Arm. So I'm thinking I need to Junk Arm some stuff for communication to get an Eel out. However, because I didn't get a good look at my discard pile, and okay, so there's 1 Eel, 2 Eel, and again I couldn't get a close look. And thinking I probably should be tossing out that Magnemite. I'm really not going to need the Magnemite. Got 2 Magnezone in play. Oh, no. Actually, I did make the right move. Yeah, I'm going to Super Rod And yeah, I do have 3 eels in there, so I need to get those eels back. I'm going to get that Mewtwo back as well. And magnetic draw for 2. Awesome, I hit the eel. A little bit of luck finally coming my way. At least be able to return a knockout. Bring it to the Magnezone. I'm going to be catching up that Sneasel just so he can't take anything more out of my hand, especially being that I only have 1 Junk Arm left. Free retreat with Cleffa, come up with Magnezone, and Lost Burn both of them for the knockout. So there's another Dynamo. Little too late, I think, though. But, oh well. So he benches another Sneasel. Attaches to Weavile now because his feint attack, it snipes for either 30 or 40, I forget which. Which can be a great way for him to pick off some prizes. And he hits my active Magnezone for 100. So I'm going to bench that second Dynamo. Going to N, essentially to disrupt him, bringing his hand size down to 2. Brings my hand size down to 2 as well, but I do have the Magnezone. Now the trick here is to be able to get a Junk Arm or a Switch, because I can attach an energy for my turn, which I don't hit, of course, and then Dynamotor 1 on. However, I can switch to the Cleffa to at least have free retreat back. So gonna Dynamotor 1 on. And I think I'm going to be, I still need an energy in my hand. I'm going to Dynamotor onto the Magnezone. Am I going to do Thunders? Still have 13 cards left in my deck, and I actually choose to Eek. I'm not quite sure why I did that, because I still had a second magnetic draw available. Could have communicated in, just wasted that communication. But I am asleep, so that can stall for a little bit of time. However, he has the catcher anyways, and I mean, essentially this hurts me more because I'm now a prize down, and with his Weavile on the bench, which is now powered up to Snipe, he's easily going to be able to take out my Magnezone, Clef. Well, I forget what it does to 30 or 40, but I do have the Cleffa on the bench, so yeah, that's not a good thing for me. Pretty much the bad luck in this game, having the 2 Dynamos prized, the saging away all my Junk Arms, not being able to draw into crucial cards at crucial times, the slow start, even though I had an amazing Magnezone early start, but having no supporters for several turns really did kind of hurt. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure why I attached that there. There's no reason why I'd not to promote the Mewtwo. There's really no reason. With him only having 1 prize left, losing 1 isn't a big deal. So I'm going to end him down to 1, hoping that with 1 there's nothing he can do. I go down to 2. Magnetic draw for 4. Do get the second Dynamotor in play. But unfortunately, Weavile has a psychic resistance, and there's really nothing I could do. Everything of his has free retreat, so I can Junk Arm for the catcher, but I'm not going to be able to knock out Mewtwo. Yeah, actually, I think this is a huge misplay of mine, if I remember right, because I need to be double Dynamotoring. Oh, no, the misplay of mine is thinking that I had 2 lightning energy in the discard pile. And I didn't. Which means I can't just attach them both to Magnezone. Well, actually, that would lose me. Either way, I think I've lost the game. I really needed that other, that third lightning energy onto the Mewtwo. So, just to finish off the game, I X-Ball, putting him 10 short, and he's going to be able to Feint Attack to knock out my Magnezone, or Cleffa, or whatever it is, and win the game. So, say good game. Or at least I think I'm saying good game. Oh, and yeah, I'm explaining that my big misplay of thinking I had one more energy card in the discard pile, because otherwise I should have attached to Magnezone to knock out that, well, like I said before, either way I had that lost, because he did have both attackers on the field, but, you know, there's going to be bad games like this, but either way, it's a very interesting deck. Came down pretty close despite my horrible luck of having a lot of crucial things prized. So, hope you guys enjoyed it.